Alright, timestamp January 11th, 2026. It is a little bit after 1 p.m. Got whiny dogs over here. Come on, guys. Come on. Not sure if it's still raining or not. It started to pour like an hour ago. Yeah, still raining a little bit. Six just left about an hour ago. I know what you're saying. It's a Sunday. Well, she's going to start coming over on Sundays so that I can be part of the mom calls, which is cool. Because my mom is gone, but her mom is still very much alive, spry, loves me to pieces, and is a crazy woman, and I love her. And she and Pix usually have once upon a time we'd have it's going to sound really weird, and I think there are sites that specialize in this, but we'd have a three-way call. On Sundays, but since, May, when everything happened with my mom and my folks, I've been here, and she's been doing the call. I've been missing out. And I like my mom calls. They're cool. I like them. I mean, she sometimes gives us advice we don't need, but that's okay. We have a good talk and a good time anyway. And it's usually like a 4 or 5 hour call. And I've been missing out on that. So, and I'm not sure if it was her mom or her, but one of the two or both were like, maybe, I think it was Pix. She told me about her call with mom, and I'm like, that sounds nice, So she's going to switch her weekend to like Friday, Saturday. I hit my arm on that real quick and hurt like fire. Got some kind of a thing going on there. It's like infected. I've done triple B on it and Band-Aid and trying to draw out whatever infection's there. I don't even know what happened. I don't even know if it's a wound that I got around here or the gross part, or maybe a bed bug bite. It's been going on for like a month. So that's when I think I first noticed it, maybe a little bit further back than that. But I am slow to self-treat, admittedly. I normally heal pretty quickly, so it's kind of I'm bleeding, who cares, But started getting infected, and it's like, okay, something's going on there, let me start working on that. But yeah, I just banged that on the furniture dolly, and it hurt a little bit, So Pix got here like 6 a.m. It's like 6 a.m. phone call till 10, 11 o'clock a.m. We do brunch together. Long distance. She's in Arkansas, so. But that was, you run and play. You act like a crazy fool. It's fine. Tanner suddenly looking over at me from 40 feet away. You do you, boo. So I got to be part of the mom call. That was nice. I haven't talked to her in months. It's been. What are you getting into? Get up here. Come on. Come on. Going inside. Going inside. Come on. Come on. Just realized the gate's open. I don't know how, I don't know why. Hold on. Not sure what's going on. I got Tiny going out front. Tiny's closing up the front gate. I got Scrappy inside. And I'm going to be going back outside here in a minute. It's strange. It was like standing wide open. Shouldn't be. which side Tiny's going to come back from. Enough. Oh. Alright, so both pups are back inside. Tiny's not incredibly sure whether or not the gate was relocked the other day when there were some outdoor chores going on. So it's possible that it was Tiny being the lunkhead. And then again, take a quick look around. Be potentially stupid, but you know, I'm really good at it. It's part of the problem with this place. All the debris. There are actually a lot of pretty decent hiding spots. I do have a home field advantage in the respect that I know them. Dad did some wackadoo shit over here. I think we're okay. Bizarre crap lying around. I think that was a bunny that I heard. That wasn't people size, that was like cat size. Not a boat that's flipped over, that's capsize. If only I were that cool. Ow. There's that elbow again. I got mad skills. Looks like everything's okay. Did a quick walk. I think Tiny oopsed. Here's the thing. With all the stuff Dad was saying, you know, we know a lot of it's in his head. We know a lot of it is in his head. But we don't know if all of it was in his head. You know? So anytime we notice something out of place, we have to kind of ask ourselves, was that us? Now, the big difference, which cannot be downplayed, is that, yes, we are not 3 times, 5 times, 20 times a day wondering where something we just had an hour ago went. We're also not seeing the little girl spinning in my mom's chair, or a man in a dark trench coat running through the front door, grabbing things and then running back outside, jumping in his long dark car and driving away. We're not noticing a group of people standing around in the kitchen drinking coffee, staring at us and whispering. You know, at least I haven't seen them. No. Tiny and I both have heard a woman singing in the house on a couple of occasions each. And at those moments, there was no radio on, there was no TV on, there were no videos playing on computers, etc. And we have had the glimmers of someone standing near us out of the corner of our eye. It's not quite the same thing. You know, at no point have I been in the backyard working on something or walking the dogs and had a mom and her 6-7-year-old boy standing there staring at me, taking things and running off and playing with them. It's never happened. You get the gist. But, and this is before my mom was having her cognitive issues. My mom verified that Dad did have 5 wheelbarrows, as an example. And when I came over, and this was 2 years ago, there were no wheelbarrows here. My point there is, that's an awful big thing, i.e. it didn't happen for my dad to misplace, which means they went somewhere. And I doubt, because he used them in the backyard, he wouldn't have sold them, and he wouldn't have given them to, like, Chuck to use for a day and bring back. He used them on the regular, so they went missing. So at least at some point, there has been a person or peoples who considered this an easy place to grab stuff from, potentially the yard, because that's where the wheelbarrows were when they disappeared. So when we see a gate open, number one, there's the, oh God, the dogs could get out and get into the street, etc. And number two, did someone other than us open it? And you got to ask yourself those questions. That's why we keep doors locked, alarm things active, you know. We're going to chalk that up to my kid doing something boneheaded, though, and not locking it down. Because with the flash storm that happened an hour ago, if the gate wasn't secured, maybe it got blown open. You know, this is Florida. We do get wind with our rain. Maybe it got blown open. Really hoping, you know. Because otherwise we got a breach. And that's a bucket of trouble I'd rather not get into. Both dogs are recovered safely, which is good, because that's an extra piece of misery I don't really need. You know, that tank is full. Good. Been working on my priming and painting. projects. That should be right. This is the back of one of the couches. That's the original color. A very, very cool pink. Mind you, I'm doing... Oh yeah, the paint sets came. I told you about that, I think. So one thing, the shuttle art, never gotten their stuff before. Pretty decent. I'm going to be using the... That's way too many consonants. I'm actually not sure how to pronounce that. Phthalo? Phthalo. I should know how to pronounce this, right? Phthalo blue. It's nice. I was looking for like a nice dark blue. So that's going to be like the cushion color, and I'm going to be using that for a lot of the base color stuff. And then we're using an orange yellow and Sakura, which is a nice, I was looking for like a nice carnation cotton candy kind of pink. So, it may sound awful, but I think together it'll actually look pretty cool. Again, adventures in the color wheel. So, but yeah, no, it was a nice phone call. Nothing crazy, no, you know, world problems were solved, but it's just nice to actually talk to family that doesn't necessarily belong behind a locked door. That sounds awful, right? If you had seen some of the stuff that I've seen around here, you would not judge me quite so harshly. I'm not saying you are, but you know. Because I love my dad. But I absolutely recognize the fact that he is potentially dangerous to himself and or society, because he cannot control his impulses exactly. He is paranoid, and he sees things that aren't there. There's just a lot of things that when you put them all together, there's the real possibility of something going horribly wrong, and person or people getting hurt, or worse. And I wish I could not say that. But I can say that and sleep fine, knowing that I am being honorable and honest. And that sucks. There is no cure, and there is no pill. He is on a medication that's supposed to help him with the paranoia, which, according to the shrink, it's helping. But every time we visit him, there's still at least kind of evidence to the contrary in the respect of he insists that his stuff is being gone through and that things keep disappearing. And yet he still has 3 full bags, which if a lot of stuff is disappearing, it's the same amount of volume. I don't know. Are they taking your stuff and replacing your stuff with other stuff? Which that's happened here before. And of course, you and I and Scrappy and X and Tanner, we all know that that's not actually what was taking place. He would insist that his new drill was taken and an old drill was left in its place. And no matter how many times I explained to him that that's not actually how thieves work, he insisted that it was nonetheless the truth. But thieves don't normally exchange. They don't barter. They steal. That's what thieves do. Because, thief, you know. We've made that joke before, you know. What if you've got a new power tool, but they don't have an old one to swap with? Do they have that dilemma of, oh man, I'd love to take that power saw, but I don't have an old power saw to replace it with. I can't take the power saw. That's frustrating. Spoiler from the original game, but if you haven't played the original Resident Evil, if you're playing as Jill, early-ish in the game really, you come across, and if you don't know, spoiler, and this is spoiler if you haven't played the game, I'm about to ruin something for you. Well, kinda. If you've already played it, or if you don't, plan on it, keep listening. So there's, towards the beginning of the game, Jill finds an item that is basically, it's labeled broken shotgun. It is a shotgun that is broken. You cannot use it. And I know the first time I played the game, I was trying to combine it with all kinds of different items, trying to figure out how can I unbreak the broken shotgun. Spun my wheels on that quite a bit. And then you find a trap, a room that has a mechanism in it, if you will. And there's a beautiful, beautiful brand new shotgun kind of on a mount on the wall. And if you take it, the room starts rebelling against you. Let's put it that way. And the way you get the shiny new shotgun and not become a Jill sandwich is by putting a shotgun, because you can do this, you can take the good shotgun, the room starts rebelling, put the good shotgun back, the room goes back to normal. So the way you defeat this trap is you bring the broken shotgun, you take the good one, you put the bad one in the rack, and no Jill sandwich. Yeah. Burglars don't operate that way. They don't leave a broken shotgun and take your new shotgun. That's not how this works. If you think that's what's going on, I got news for you. You started out with the broken shotgun. You never had the new shotgun. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, I tried to explain this to Dad over, a period of time, and it didn't take. And my mom even started buying into it. On one occasion we were talking about it, and my mom said, yeah, this burglar does some really strange things, Marcus. And it's like, yes, I agree. Dad does some very strange things. Are you serious, right? Can you hear yourself right now? You're actually starting to believe that maybe the burglar is swapping with Dad? You think that's a possibility now? And it's funny because, I see that in politics, the idea of if you repeat a lie often enough, your audience may start to believe it. Because we're seeing that, let's be honest. There's a lot of people that do believe some stuff that is not true, never happened. But the lie has been repeated so many times, somehow it becomes more palatable, It's weird. It's weird how we can get worn down that way. And I think about Picard and the 3 lights versus 4 lights or what have you, if you remember that episode. Some people can always come up with a supernatural meme. I can always come up with a Star Trek one. Mad respect to Supernatural, but I know Star Trek better. And they typically have hit all the bases, But yeah, I am pleased to announce that it looks like we were not breached. Which is good, because the pew-pew that I have handy, I haven't been able to test fire it yet. Because, we found quite a few here because of my dad. There are some that I wouldn't even dream of attempting to test fire because, you can tell by touching them, they're not really in a good place. This one could use some oil, but otherwise, I think it's functional. Do I want to find out? Well, yes and also no. In a controlled environment, but I'd rather, do a full breakdown on it first. Just because that would be, prudent. But if I gotta test it in the field, I gotta test it in the field. Hopefully it doesn't damage my pinball career. Or worse. Got some good quality melee too. I took some melee action with me as well. I know how to use both, so. See, big difference in the pink, you can tell. It's a lot softer. Not nearly as, Miami Vice 90s. But yeah, I've got some cooking to do. I did some food prep yesterday. Boy, you too, jeez. Got some casserole I gotta put in the oven. And we're down pretty slim on that ham that I made the other day, so big old ham bone. I'm gonna basically boil that and start making some soup base. Do some green veg. Now, I don't have any cabbage here, but I can do some other green veg and some onions and make a pretty good broth going on there. Bone broth, just like Mandalorian. It's a real thing, people. If you didn't know, it's a real thing. Yeah, big difference in the pink, man. Looking at it side by side like that. I'm going to combine that with the orange yellow. Had that moment of, is it yellow orange or orange yellow? And yes, there is a difference. For years I didn't know this one myself, so not attempting to patronize or talk down, but it's one of those common don't know the difference things. Whatever one is mentioned first, technically there is more of in the color. So a yellow orange is going to be more yellow than orange, and orange yellow is going to be more orange than yellow. simple once you know it, but if you don't know, it sounds like you're talking about the same damn thing, and you're actually not. This is an orange yellow, which is kind of what I was going for. Because again, color wheel. It's not exact, across color wheel stuff, but close enough to where I think I can make it work. So, Is it still going to be a little loud? Yeah, it is. But we're also talking about seating for, a nightclub, so it's okay. A discotheque. All will be well. Or if you're from New York, all will be well. Teasing a friend of mine the other day. She is from upstate New York, and I called her out on it. It's actually not my friend Pam. I have more than one friend. Crazy, right? I have like 3. She had mentioned to me a long time ago that she had ditched her accent. You couldn't tell where she was from. And then just in casual conversation, she said, old. And I'm like, oh, yep, you're from New York. She was like, what'd I say? I said, you said old. She's like, damn it. It's a hard habit to break. There are certain words that tell on you. Most people have no idea where I'm from, which I find funny. I normally get guessed as Ohio. Normally. It's not a right answer. But for the most part, I can be from wherever I want. I have that knowledge. I fooled natives before. That's hard to do. So I know I'm at least pretty good at my craft. And I've been busted by natives before. But not usually. Not if I've done my homework. Exactly. So, I'm gonna get a little further on this base coat here. And then I'm gonna do some cooking. I got some eBay stuff to do. I already wrapped my packages. I've got 5 sales to go out tomorrow morning, which is a great problem to have. Had one of them that sold on Saturday, and today they sent me a question wondering why it hadn't been shipped out yet. That's annoying. It's like, look, you bought it on a Saturday afternoon, and it is currently Sunday morning. I'm not Amazon. Are you aware of how the USPS works? And the fact that on Sundays they do not works. It's set to go out tomorrow morning. Give me a break. Technically, I have till Wednesday. It's gonna hit the mail Monday morning. And they were like, "Oh yeah, I forgot it's the weekend." thinking to myself, so your knee jerk is just to start nagging. Okay. You're one of those. Goody. Off to a rough start when that happens, yeah. You don't actually do your research at all, and then you immediately start asking those questions of the vendor. You're going to be a delight. Just hoping I don't get another email Tuesday saying, "Where's my package? You sent it out, right?" You know. I did, and you're in Oklahoma, and I'm in Florida. I've tried to fix people before. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I try. Oh my God, do I try? So, this morning was nice. It was nice. Definitely nice. Definitely nice. I like the phone call. The phone call was nice. It was a good phone call. Kmart sucks. I was going to burn some junk mail today, but somehow I think I'm going to have problems out there. So we'll do that tomorrow. Yep. Priming, sorting, trying to get the dining room clear. Got 2 loads of laundry done, dishes are done. 1 brick, steady on. eBays are prepped, ready to go out, and you cross that out. It's a real joy crossing things off the list. It's nice. That's a nice thing. Do need to get the trash out, because yikes, that bag is overflowing. And I wanted to try and get 5 more listings up on a delay, which, that's easy. I've got, 70 or so items right over there. I got this. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off, wash out my brush, get some more coffee, set that casserole. Yeah. Sunday's supposed to be one of those, like, we don't really work on Sundays. Kind of that whole, we take the day off. Not like the Sabbath religious thing, just the reminder that you need to take that break. But I can get some light stuff done today and it'll be alright. I haven't been putting in my 100. Still doing the 1 brick, but I'm starting to feel guilty for not doing the 2 bricks that I know I could. It's probably a Capricorn thing. 3 bricks. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Just the whole thing is pretty frustrating. Because a lot of bricks, man. A lot of bricks. Yeah. But big old blob of paint. I can probably use that there. Yeah. Hate to waste it. So yes, hug your parents, hug your kids, call your mom. Make it a great day.